Hello, my name is Carrie Schilling, coming to you from Kettering Health Network Community Outreach Program. Thank you for this opportunity to come speak about gratefulness. I am an RN with the Community Outreach Program, and I am also a meditation teacher and a massage therapist, and for that reason I lead our integrative medicine program within our oncology service line, where we offer a number of different complementary services to our patients and to the general public. I am grateful for this opportunity to come speak with you. I also can say that I experienced an emotion of gratefulness when the question was asked, would I be willing to come talk and teach and expose others to the benefits of feeling gratefulness. Gratitude can be expression of gratefulness, I'm grateful for, or an emotion of gratefulness, I feel grateful when. Over the past 30 years, in fact, there have been many research developments showing that experiencing gratefulness, making a conscious effort to take a moment in our life to think of the things that we can be grateful for, whether that's the expression of gratefulness, thanking people in our lives, or taking the time to focus on the emotion of gratefulness, are showing great benefits. Healthier, happier human beings are created by spending a few moments with the focus on gratitude. In ancient Rome, the philosopher Cicero described gratefulness as the mother of all virtues. So we've known for quite a while that gratefulness can be beneficial to our health, can be beneficial to us. It is considered, or some consider it, an immoral emotion. Scientifically, however, gratitude does not qualify as an emotion. It's not like happiness or sadness or anger. It doesn't qualify, it doesn't fit into one of those categories of emotion. It is its own entity. In fact, I find interestingly that gratitude does not have a universal expression. Universally, we as human beings express anger, sadness, fear, in a pretty predictable way on our faces. Gratitude is one presence of being that does not have a universal expression. So it kind of fits into its own category. It makes it difficult to come up with one universally accepted definition of gratitude. One of my favorite is the Oxford Dictionary's definition of gratitude is, it's a quality or a condition of being thankful, the appreciation of an inclination to return kindness. So the appreciation of an inclination, of a desire to return your kindness. I'm appreciating the fact that you made me feel like I wanted to do something nice for you. So gratitude is associated with a number of positive benefits in our life. Increased positive emotions, joy, love, self-worth, self-esteem, feeling connected to others. It's a number of positive emotions that we experience as a result of taking the time to focus on or express gratitude. There are increased health benefits, improved health, increased sleep. It's helpful with insomnia or the quality of sleep that we receive. Help control blood pressure, some decrease in blood pressure levels, decreased cortisol level. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Cortisol is that fight or flight hormone. Taking the time to express or feel or contemplate that emotion of gratitude can decrease that cortisol free floating in our system. More enjoyment with life experiences. Again, that increasing self-esteem, increasing self-worth, just a general satisfaction with life, feeling more connected again to the people in our lives and those around us, and just a higher sense of joy. Stronger relationships. There's one study in particular that looks at people who just have a disposition of higher gratitude. That's a portion of their DNA. It's just a part of who they are. They're more grateful people. These folks have a tendency toward thanking people around their lives, finding appreciation of the people in their life. Those folks also emit more oxytocin. Oxytocin is our bonding hormone. That bonding hormone allows us to have deeper, more meaningful relationships. So these folks tend to have stronger, more positive marital relationships or long-term relationships. And so there's that correlation between just creating a disposition of gratefulness and having stronger, more meaningful, lasting relationships in our lives. And also increased coping when faced with hardships. There's some studies that look at folks that just have that disposition of more gratefulness, have more resiliency when faced with difficult situations, less incidence of PTS or PTSD, post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress disorder. Those folks that just have a more grateful disposition as they go about their daily life will have fewer negative responses from traumatic events in our life, less experience of PTSD. So there are a number of benefits associated with, and again, the number of research studies that have happened over the last 30 years are growing. With the advent of the functional MRI, we can really look at the brain and see what's happening when we ask people to focus on positive thoughts, grateful thoughts, versus the negative, resentful types of thoughts. The areas that it triggers in the brain are those areas that benefit us much more greatly. So I mentioned a couple times individuals that just have a more natural tendency toward gratefulness, like their disposition, they have that grateful disposition. But we can cultivate that, we can grow that, we can create that disposition in our own lives. Several ways that has been encouraged is journaling. Write it down. There are a lot of studies that look at the opportunity of journaling in multiple different ways. You can journal every day. Just write down 5 things that happened today, 4 things that happened today, and why you're grateful for them, or why was it a positive in your life. Just take the time to jot those 4 things down at the end of your workday, or more beneficially, perhaps just before you go to sleep at night, just before you lay down, because then you get the added benefit of it aids in sleep. When we put our minds in that positive mindset, we decrease that cortisol, we calm our systems, we can fall off to sleep more smoothly, quicker. So just jotting those things down during the course of the day and why. Now there's some studies that show we do this every day for a period of weeks, and there's benefit, lasting benefit, months out from the study. It might have been they start with week 1 and the person is X% happier, rates themselves X% happier. I think it was like 5% after a week, and then after 2 weeks it was like 9%, and then it kind of leveled out. But 9% happier is still pretty good. But then after they stopped doing this after 5 weeks, they were still rating themselves significantly happier than they were when they started the study. Now there's another study that had people do this just once a week. Just spend one time a week, but do it very contemplatively. Really take your time, really think about these 5 events of your week and really why was that meaningful to you. Really deeply, really look at it. Just once a week, but with a greater focus. That study actually demonstrated that folks that did the more contemplative look at their week, once a week, rated themselves significantly happier than those that did it every day for a period of time. So however it works better in your life and your schedule, the trick with journaling is just do it. Journaling is one of those things so many of us know this would be beneficial. There's so much research in depression and anxiety and stress and grieving and now in gratitude that demonstrates that journaling can be helpful. It's great for our mental health. But it is one of those things that we can talk about real easily, but making yourself get in the practice of doing it. And I believe with something like journaling, it's making it a habit. Putting that journal somewhere where you're going to see it before you leave your desk at the end of the day or by your bedside, wherever it is, so that you make it a habit. But journaling has definitely shown significant benefit in us reaping the benefits of gratitude. A brief Google search will reveal many talks about the expression of thank you, simply saying thank you, writing thank you notes. So our second way to cultivate a disposition of gratitude is simply to express it, whether that's to create in your mind a random number. I'm going to thank 3 people today. I'm going to say thank you to 3 people today. Whether that's just thanking them for opening the door for you, thank them for doing a certain project for you, thank you for some way they aided you in your life, or just thank you for being in my life and being a positive influence in my life. So that expression verbally, or greater benefits are shown through research that people who write it out. If you write out a thank you. And you can write these, and again, that goes back to the journaling, writing the thank you in your journal. But if we write out those thank you notes, and you'll find if you do a simple Google search for gratitude, you'll find lots of TED Talks, you'll find lots of YouTube lectures on folks that set goals to write thank you notes. One woman that you'll find in a search talked about on her 50th birthday, she wasn't quite sure what to do to celebrate her 50th birthday, and after deciding she was too much of an introvert to try to do a birthday party, she decided to write 50 thank you notes. 50, and not just like a thank you for being here, but a letter. And she talks about her journey and how that really changed her life and changed her world. And you'll find lots of talks like that. Expressing that gratitude, whether verbally or in writing to other people. And they also say that just writing that thank you letter to someone who may not even be in your life anymore, you don't even have to deliver the letter, but write that thank you letter, express that out, can be beneficial as well. And the third way that they'll talk about cultivating gratitude is through a gratitude meditation. Sitting quietly with a thought of someone or something positive in your day. I'll talk more about the gratitude meditation in just a moment, but one of the things I thought was interesting was, so there was a study some time back they did with college students in Tetris. They had these college students play Tetris for multiple hours a day. I don't even remember what they were studying, but it was they had these college students just play constantly for several hours a day. What started to happen was those kids, as they went out into the world after their hours of play each day, was they started to see the Tetris shapes. They started to see those Tetris shapes everywhere they went, walking through the grocery store on boxes of cereal, or signs along the side of the road. They saw things in the form of Tetris shapes. And that kind of fits into the whole concept of like that confirmation bias. We see what we're looking for, right? We see what we're looking for in life. So if we spend a little bit of time each day grooming our brains to look for things to be grateful for, we start to find those things just through the course of the day without even a conscious focus on seeking them out. I thought that was an interesting comment from someone I listened to. That third way of cultivating gratitude is through gratitude meditations. Gratitude meditations go back thousands of years. We can also bring that into our daily life in just a few moments each day. We can bring that gratitude meditation into our life. People think of meditation as a seated practice, something you need to set aside a certain time of your day. You need to set aside a certain place. You have to have a candle. You have to sit in a position. This is not true. This is one of the many myths of meditation, right? So meditation can happen anywhere throughout the course of your day, as it can happen right now in your day. If you could take just a moment with me, if you would, if you're comfortable, get comfortable in your seat. Perhaps have both of your feet on the floor. Feel a little grounded. John Kabat-Zinn, kind of the founder of meditation, mindfulness-based stress reduction in the United States, would say sit in a dignified position. You can certainly lay down to meditate, but through the course of your day, sometimes it's hard to find a place to lay down. And second, many of us just fall right to sleep if we lay down. So sitting in just kind of a dignified position, but relaxed and comfortable. If you have back issues, you may want to lay back in your chair. Just find that comfortable position. You may want to close your eyes or find a comfortable spot several feet out in front of you and allow your eyes to rest into that position. And I invite you now to call to mind the people in your life. Consider a person in your life you are grateful for. Now try to envision that one specific person who you are appreciative of right now. What do you appreciate about that person? And reflect on those attributes of that person for just a moment. Now, call to mind a recent experience or a situation that you've been involved with that you're grateful for. Perhaps consider any attributes of yourself that you are grateful for. Your strengths, your talents. Perhaps you are grateful for a lesson you have learned recently. And take just a moment to reflect on the life-sustaining resources we have readily available to us. Turn on the tap and we have cool, clean water to drink. The comforts of the room you now sit in. The things we take for granted. Now bring to mind some material thing in your life that brings you comfort. That favorite blanket, that favorite robe. And just a moment to think of anything else in your life that you truly appreciate. Now feel your body, feel your mind settled. And as you start to come back to this room and open your eyes, try to take this feeling of calm and peace and gratitude with you through the things that you do in your day. Keeping hold of that feeling after a brief meditation. That was about 4 minutes, I believe, 3 to 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes through the course of our day to spend just those few moments focusing on all of the things we have to be grateful for in our lives, all of the things that we can use to enhance and boost all those positive things that we mentioned earlier. So what is actually happening? when we take those few moments, when we start to retrain the brain. There's, in all of the popular psychology right now, people hear the words plasticity, this brain plasticity we have. We can start to actually change the nature of our neural pathways. And in these practices, that's what we're doing. We're starting to refocus the way we see the world, the prism through which we address situations, and kind of changing the perspective. But what is actually happening in our brain chemistry, just to touch on that briefly, that gratitude, as I mentioned earlier, the functional MRIs, the fMRI we can put the body into and look at what's happening in the brain. When folks are encouraged to focus on feelings of gratitude, we stimulate the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus is the area of our brain that plays a significant role in releasing hormones or suppressing hormones like that cortisol hormone, the stress hormone. It plays a significant role in regulating the emotional responses, our reactiveness to things versus our ability to calm and think things through versus react to it. So the hypothalamus is stimulated and the ventral tegmental area is stimulated. The ventral tegmental area is the brain's reward system. It's our ability to produce feelings of pleasure. It's what some folks refer to as the bliss area of the brain. The act of focusing on those feelings of gratitude starts to the production of dopamine and serotonin. Dopamine and serotonin are feel-good neurotransmitters that activate that bliss center of the brain. So it's kind of a loop that feeds back. So these things all come together to create that feeling of happiness, those feelings of contentment. Decreased depression, increased resiliency, decreased blood pressure, all of those things we talked about, all come from stimulating these two areas of the brain. So what are you grateful for? I went through a list. What person were you grateful for? What experiences are you grateful for? What comforts in life are you grateful for? Perhaps something in nature you're grateful for. An aspect of yourself, a gift that you've been given that you're grateful for. And I invite you just one more time to find that comfortable position. Find that comfortable position and perhaps just take one deep breath and ask yourself as you close your eyes and relax your shoulders. Exhale. Inhale and ask yourself, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And now, just listen.